Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. There is only one goal, but the paths are many. Like if we want to go to Delhi, it is not necessary that we have to go only by train or only by road or only by flight. One can go, varieties of approaches are there. In the same manner, although the truth is one, depending upon our abilities, depending upon our liking and adaptability, the paths chosen are different. When this is understood, then nobody gets obsessed with any particular path. But this is where we get caught up. For example, if we go to Bhagwan Shankaracharya and ask him about Gita, what Gita says, he will prove in a most wonderful, convincing manner that Gita speaks about knowledge and nothing else. And it is meant for the sannyasis. Then you go to Madhvacharya. Then you go to Ramanujacharya. Then you go to Balagangadhar Tilak. Then you go to Mahatma Gandhi. See? So, whatever we want to see, that alone we see in everything. Because our preferences, the day we give up all the preferences and keep our mind totally open without a frame. You know, you must have seen all this, at least if not somewhere in the museums. I have visited quite a good number of palaces of the old kings. And there you will see that Maharaja's picture is there. That picture may be worth 10 paisa. So who wants that picture? But the frame is so fantastic. In the same manner, the frame of our mind is such a strong obsession, but that obsession is for what? That is not important. See? And because of this, we are unable to receive the divine message because of the blinkers that we have put on our eyes. So, in this 8th chapter, the teacher leads us through all the paths and tells that path number 1 is not an antithesis to path number 2. They are all one and the same, depending upon what is our capacity. Therefore, in this chapter, first, for a man who has to reach the destination, there should be clarity about the goal. So what is the clarity about the goal? Clarity about the goal is Aksharam Brahma Paramam as the goal. One of my very good friends, I understood he has come to Bombay now, but where is God knows. He was, in charge of some big project in a company, and he has prepared an exhaustive report for a company, a client company, as the requirement. And based on that report, that company was supposed to launch the new product or to start a new project in their company. This boy worked day and night, and a thick report is prepared. And with all the data, diagrams, and all the gimmicks of computer science, he has prepared it very beautifully. Like, in today's world, how you pack is more important than what you pack. So he did that. And after that was done, that company director took it, oh good, keep it here. What's your bill? My bill is something like 30, 40,000, 50,000. Good. Go and get your money, disappear. Now this young man, for the first time he has taken such a big report with great enthusiasm, like a doctor who goes to the hospital for the first time with all sincerity of a noble profession. After some time he becomes a legal professional, never a noble professional. So he went and got all the things done, and that man in his client even didn't look at it. Got so disturbed. Came and then started telling the boss, sir, what kind of people are in this world? So the boss was a seasoned boss. Like, when the wood is seasoned, it can take more strength. When it is raw, it cannot, it bends. So the boss was a seasoned professional. He said, what's wrong with you? What happened? He told the whole story. He said, look here. What was the goal of your writing the report? To get your fees. Has he paid? Yes. Let him destroy that report. Why you worry? See? The goal of our life is to know the truth. But what people will say? You do anything, people have a comment. And particularly if we are Indians. We have comment on everything, on everybody. We have opinion, we have decisions, we have guidance, we have suggestions, and we are expert in everybody's job except our job. Isn't it? So if the goal is clear, then only walking the path becomes the second point. Not without that. That is why the teacher gave first the goal. Aksharam Brahma Paramam. That is the destination. You may struggle at any level, with any intensity, with all sincerity. In the relative world, there is no perfect solution. Unless we transcend the relativity and come to the absolute, there is no way. Nanya pantha vidyate janaya. And the problems in the relative world are the blessings in disguise from the Lord, so that you get rid of the relative and hold on to the absolute. See, very important. And therefore, after having given this, then the question comes, how do we go ahead? So, the first is knowledge. We must have a clear roadmap. So, the first part the teacher has given, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajatyante kalevaram, and then tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manuspara yuddhacha. So, in this, up to the 7th verse, the teacher has presented the approach through inquiry, data, analysis, conclusion, and application. Then the teacher has taken the second approach. Second approach is Only intellectual appreciation is the load of knowledge. Intellectual appreciation given to whom? Our Gita Mata. And if you are from South, our Gita Mata. So this Gita Mata is so great, Swamiji. Who has written this? One brigadier asked me this question. Swami, did you talk on Gita? I said, Hanji, kabhi kabhi bolta tha. And then he said that I am amazed how wonderful that book is. Who has written that? And when the brigadier talks, brigadiering cannot shut the mouth. She has to improve on him. You don't know even this much? Krishna wrote it. Now I felt like remarrying them again. See? So, after having collected the knowledge has to be converted into experience. But that process is called as yoga abhyas. So, second step, the teacher has given the yoga abhyas. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanyagamina paramam purusham divyam yati parthanu chintayan. So we will be able to contemplate on the data given by the teacher if we are qualified. Please understand what basic difference in the material science and the spiritual science. You can be corrupt and criminal, yet you can be an excellent doctor. I told me in the other way. Don't read beyond what I say. But when you want to walk the spiritual path, you cannot have double standard. See? Therefore, Bhagwan says, first of all, chetasa nanyagamina. Our commitment to walk the spiritual path has to be uncompromisingly total, not half-hearted. Total commitment is the requirement to walk on this path of spiritual life. And you know what happens? When we have not trained ourselves, anything we do half-heartedly. While taking food, okay. खाना ठंडा हो रहा है, फ्रिज में से निकला गर्म होगा, अभी ठंडा नहीं होगा. See, there is no involvement, there is no participation in the food that is given to you. Now what is happening? We are not getting involved in that one act of taking food totally. So we are developing a character. Then we read the newspaper. Newspaper also, do we read thoroughly? हाँ, while reading newspaper. देखो किसका फोन है, कितने मरे, अच्छा क्या फर्क पड़ता है, कुछ नहीं, चाय बना. By default, the things start happening. Even we want to read the paper, there is no complete, fully committed involvement. Be very attentive. Now come. We study Bhagavad Gita. Then we are tired. Nobody to talk. They say Gita is good, let me try. वो कहाँ गया? वो गीता रखा था इधर में. And then in one hand Gita, other hand a cup of tea, legs on the table, and in the Ardha Halasan, you start studying. But why did this guy talk in Sanskrit? Why he didn't talk in English? That is the reason that particular civilization is wiped away. Had Krishna used English, our Hindu Dharma would have gone all the boundaries. And all those religions where English is the main language, see how they are prospering. And with this thought, they are studying. What will be the mind learn? One step further, cinema is not enough. Then we sit for meditation. You have heard somewhere there is something called meditation. We sit for meditation. So once we have developed this character, then we are not sincerely applying to any job in our life. Whatever we do half-heartedly and not wholeheartedly. See, all our activities, all our undertakings are never done wholeheartedly. They are done with a hole in the heart. As a result, we can never discover the results in our life. And therefore the teacher says, don't gather knowledge and become professional listeners. There was, somewhere I don't remember it happened, one Amma used to come for my talk, probably Delhi. And then about 3-4 years she very regularly came. Last time I went, she came, met, and she said, Swamiji, I had to go. I said, it's good, go. And when she left, there are other always commentaries, suggestions, advice, etc., judgment. Swamiji, she has become so funny. She even doesn't sit for your satsang. I said, you are sitting for more than her. What is the use? Asangoham. How many years are we going to remain in KG1? Till we become quintal? Think. Chetasa ananyagamina. That is important. And when the mind is fully available, such a person alone can contemplate on the pointers showed by the scriptures and the teacher. And the result is, he comes to discover his own essential self. Now, after having told this, now we understood that we have to contemplate and go on anuchintayan, take each topic. Like yesterday I gave you example, I am other than the body. What is the load of this statement? Go on contemplating. So if I am other than the body, like I am other than the garland, means what? Garland goes and lands in anybody's neck. I am other than the garland. I should not land. Garland is foolish. Made out of fools, isn't it? I am not foolish. Garland can be crushed. I cannot be crushed. Garland can last only for maybe 1 or 2 days. With the grace of the fridge, 1 week. You know, in US, they have recycling of not only the wastage, but the garlands also. So they will get one garland and present to the Lord. Some log jane ke baad, they take it out, put it in the fridge, and again the next day. Because every day getting flowers is not so easy. Foolish things are available in India more easily. So, after we have started anuchintayan, if I am other than the body means what? Now go on contemplating. But we may want, the problem is our mind doesn't agree, sir. We have all sincere desire. We are putting all the efforts. But sometimes the mind just doesn't agree. What should we do? That difficulty is solved in the 10th verse. Prayana kale manasa chalena Bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva Dhruvor madhe pranamavesha samyak Satam param purusham upaiti divyam. He who has no control over his mind when he is alive, do you think at the time of death our mind will listen to us? Please remember this basic principle. As death approaches, all our faculties are without our control. See? At that time, if something can work, is only what has deeply ingrained us. And that is why, when we are constantly contemplating, even if you are in a delirium, even if you are, unconscious of what you are talking, that time only that will come out which has gone deep in our system. Very important. Therefore, prayana kale, when we have now decided, prayana kala, the time of departure, there are two ways of living this body, intelligently and foolishly. Intelligently living this body means, when the body is living, L-I-V-I-N-G, you leave the body and start living the freedom of life. That is one. Prayana kale. And how do we do this? The teacher tells. Now the second method is, prayana kale, when the time approaches that now your transfer orders have come. Do you know when the transfer orders are issued, what are the things that happen? First thing. Second thing, I don't know what happened these days. Nothing I remember whether I had taken food or not. Sometimes I take 3 times food, but yet I feel I have not taken food. So, one by one, all the faculties are getting packed up. See? Prayana kale. That is the time when the body, be very attentive, the body is not a fit instrument for the expression of consciousness as mind. Prayana kale. Like, many times we see the bulb, so beautiful, so perfect. But it is not fit to express light, the expression of electricity. In the same manner, we don't know what happened, he was so perfectly alright. And what suddenly happened, he died. Suddenly nothing happens. It was piled up. Therefore, that is the meaning of prayana kale, when the body has become incapable of manifestation of the mind through the body. See, this is either under compulsion or under freedom. If you take, for example, our Vinoba Bhave, the Parikshit of Kali Yuga, he has very clearly told his doctors, I give you 3 chances. Apply your all medicines. If the body doesn't respond, hell with such a body. I stay apart. Who can do that? He who is living life and for whom death is a dead material. Prayana kale. And if we have to attain any one of them, whichever meaning we take, depending upon our understanding and ability, manasa achalena. That time what is required is the mind is achala, undisturbed. Chala is disturbed. Achala is undisturbed. Now see, if you want to understand what is the undisturbed mind, you start listening to nothing. When you start listening to nothing, those sounds which we normally do not hear, those sounds will start surfacing. Or you start seeing nothing. Only the eyes are open. There is no process of seeing, and therefore the seer and the seen is not born. Manasa achalena. The mind is undisturbed by any perception, like the mirror. When an object is reflected on the film of a camera, an impression is formed. But no impression is formed on the mirror. In the same manner, when our senses, our mind is merely a reflector of the experiences, but no experiencer is born. Try this. Mind will become quiet in no time. So, prayana kale manasa achalena. So, all the practice that we have to do is this again and again. Yesterday I gave you one technique of looking at the watch. Second thing, become extremely aware of your breathing. Whether you keep your eyes open or closed, makes no difference. Become aware of breathing. And when you become aware of breathing, for that support is, okay, you are not able to do that, never mind. Now, when you take inside Hari, when you throw the air outside, breathe out Om. Now there is some support. So, Hari, Om, Hari, Om. That is breathing, now I understood. But the problem is, now that Hari Om thought is creating problem. So drop that Hari Om. And when you drop that Hari Om, then you are able to understand that breathing has two components. One is the air and second is the movement of the air. See, this is a book and there is a movement in the book. These are two different things. In the same manner, first we become aware of the gross thing called as the air, and then we become aware of the movement of the air. The moment you are becoming aware of the movement of the breathing will come to such a slow and shallow level that ultimately it will be suspended without you dying. Thank you. You are afraid about that. See, the mind will come to a standstill. Prayana kale manasa achalena. Then bhaktya yukto yoga valena chaiva. And this we can do only when bhaktya yuktaha. When we have tremendous love for the reality. Please understand, the truth is, not for the dropouts. The truth is not for those who are total wrecks in their life. The truth is not for those who are the weakling dropouts. No. Upanishad says, Nayamatma balahine labhya. That inner strength has to be discovered. And the inner strength can come only when bhaktya yuktaha. When you are no more having the feeling, I am alone in this world and nobody is helping me. Shame. Anusmara, the teacher has already told. He is all the time aware about us. He is all the time taking care of us. Without him, we can't even breathe. Not recognizing his participation in our life and feeling lonely. We are responsible for that misery, nobody else. That is the meaning of devotion. Devotion doesn't mean making a lot of noise and then make the people aware. Malume, hum bhi gana gaate. Yeah? Become extremely aware that you are in the lap of the divine will. And when you are aware of this, that is called as bhakti, that is called as devotion. Awareness of the divine presence all the time is devotion. All other things are the superficial mirch masala. Other things are no meaning. Therefore, bhaktya yuktaha. Bhaktya yuktaha means what? Yukti means a knack. He who has the knack of devotion. What is the knack of devotion? Bhagwan Shankaracharya writes in one of his commentaries, there are four types of disciples. The Uttama Adhikari, the best one is the one without Guru's telling, talking, anything, he understands clearly. Second category, he does exactly what your Guru tells. The third one, he just doesn't understand. The fourth one, exactly does the opposite. Depending upon our own understanding. Therefore, bhaktya yukta. Yukti is what? Yukti is when you are in tune with the teacher, then alone you understand. See how important it is. But normally what happens? Tomorrow is Guru Purnima. When we go to Guru, we have already framed our mind. When I go, I am going to bombard that. The other day, one Amma came, she said, Swamiji, whenever I come to you, there is a big problem. I said, for me? Or for you? I don't know about you, but for me there is a problem. Why? See, when I come prepared that I have to ask you so many questions. But I don't know what happens. The moment I come here, it goes blank. What should I do? I said, stop coming and nurture the questions. Bhaktya yuktaha, the knack of devotion is, you are always in tune with the divine. What is the meaning of being in tune with the divine? The divine is Sat Chit Ananda, conscious, blissful existence. The more we remain conscious, the more we are aware, the more we go beyond the impact of the constant changes. And when we are able to maintain the equipoise in spite of all the problems of life, then we are in tune with the divine. Bhaktya yuktaha. And for that, yoga balena cha eva. And for that, yoga Yoga Bala. Yoga Bala is the strength of integrated personality. Please understand. This is very, very important. I explained this to you a number of times. By God's grace, you must have forgotten. See, we all have these two faculties. Faculty of action and faculty of knowledge. When these two faculties, they are in tune with each other, knowledge is reflected in action. The knowledge is not contradicted in action. See? You must have seen when these military fellows go, one new recruit was admitted and sergeant was giving the drill. All standing in line, left turn, right turn, about turn, again right turn, left turn. And this new recruit was simply standing. Sergeant got very angry. Why are you not moving when I am giving orders? He said, you first decide which turn, last. I do that last. But it is sometimes left, sometimes right, sometimes right, sometimes left. Isn't it? In the same manner, our mind tells something, but the actions are not in tune with the mind. The mind is very clearly telling anger is bad. And when the opportunity comes, yoga balena chaiva, with all the strength we burst out. And afterwards, I don't know what happens whenever I get angry. And this time it was a little too much. What happened? No, I just gave one to the child and his head was separated. Now, what is the effect? Effect is, we start getting disintegrated. No, our Tukaram Maharaj, पंढरपुर की वारी चल रही ना, तुकाराम महाराज बोले तैसा चाले त्याची वंदावी पाऊले. He whose knowledge is reflected in action and he whose actions are in tune with his knowledge, he alone has fulfilled the yoga abhyas in his life. See how simple it is. And that is the tragedy. Tragedy is we know every Swamiji, I know everything, but I don't know when my anger comes, what to do. Eat my head. One couple was driving me, there was one more person. So she was constantly nagging him from backside. So I was trying to encourage the husband. I said, I can appreciate, dear, how much she is eating your head. There was another lady sitting behind. Immediately comment came, Swamiji, therefore she is starving. Because so, yoga balena chaiva. When we are able to have integration between husband and wife. Husband is the Jnana Shakti. Wife is Prakruti, the Kriya Shakti. And what is the family? Whatever husband tells, wife has to negate. And whatever the wife says, husband has to obey. In a group of people, they were sorted out. All those who are afraid of the wife go in one corner. Those who are not afraid in the whole hall. And there is only one solitary fellow. How come? How come my wife told me to go and stand here? Now see this integration. This is called a yoga bala. Yoga bala doesn't mean that you do one, what do you call that? Padmasana, lock asana. So you lock up into the asana and then call the fire brigade. No, that is not. Yoga bala is expression of integrated individuality. And when we are not integrated, the result is we are tired in life. Once I went for some bhajan program in US, and it was such lovely thing going on. And there was one person who was also with me, he also came. And after half an hour, he said, Swamiji, are you not tired? I said, no, I'm enjoying. If you are tired, you go. He said, no, but I had to take you. I said, no, don't take me. Somebody will take me. We go. But how come you are not tired? I am getting tired, and then you are clapping and all that. Do you know why you are getting tired? He said, no. I said, you are clapping exactly at the wrong time. When you are in the rhythm with the musical orchestra, you don't get tired. See? And that is a great, great art to clap perfectly at the wrong time. Clapping with the rhythm is easier. After that, I tried. And I found really it is very tiresome. In the same manner, when we are living as husband and wife, yoga bala, it is only the tug of war. Both of them are tired. I don't know why did I marry this foolish woman. And the wife says, I also don't know why did I marry this stupid man. And both of them come to know, made for each other. Therefore, yoga bala is that integrated expression of the divinity. That is what is called as scientific understanding about the spiritual life. Otherwise, we go on doing the pranayama and all that, and after that develop asthma. What is the need? Today somebody spoke to me, Swamiji, I'm sorry, I'm not able to talk to you because I'm having asthma. I said, you are doing a lot of pranayama, and it is because of that only. You told you to do that. Narayana. Bhaktya yuktaha yoga balena chaiva. Now, once you are totally integrated, your prana is listening to the dictate of your mind. Then what happens? Bhruvor madhe pranamavesha samyak. Then only by the will you are able to withdraw your all energy. Like the best example I can think of is, take a bottle of Coca-Cola, put the straw in that and start sucking. So how slowly the level of the liquid goes down. In the same manner, when we are completely integrated, you simply sit and with the strong and the commitment of your goal, you just withdraw your identification from the total body. And then that urja, that shakti, that energy, there are different names for that. They will call it Kundalini Shakti, they will call it as Allahadini Shakti, they will call it as the grace of the Lord. Doesn't matter what you label, all are aerated drinks. So this Prana Shakti, it starts coming together and Bhruvor Madhe. Friends, from here, the energy starts getting slowly differentiated into different departments of expression. It is something like this. When you take a line, electrical line, then there are suppose 7 openings. So in each opening you fit one gadget and it starts functioning. So in one opening you fix, let us say, a fan. The second one, a bulb. the third one a radio, the fourth one a battery charger. In this manner, all of them will have different expressions of the same electricity depending upon the gadget fix. If this is understood in the same manner, the divine energy starts getting expression through the seven openings. And these seven openings are called in the Yoga Shastra as the seven chakras or the centers. And then this energy slowly becomes identified different layers of our personality. So the lowest chakra is the one where body identification is the gadget. Swadhisthana chakra is the place where the desire is the gadget. Then Manipur is the place where the greed is the gadget, and because of that, there is fantasy of going here and there. Then when we come to the Anahata chakra, there is a gadget of I. And when that I and the Aham Idam Bheda, the differentiation in knowledge is given up, then we become pure. Therefore, Vishuddha chakra. There is no individuality, but there is a potentiality of being an individual. And from there, when we graduate and come to this Bhruvor Madhye Agya Chakra, that time the individuality merges in the totality. The Aham Brahmasmi Anubhuti takes place in this Agya Chakra. So the whole Yoga Shastra is brought out by Kanhaiya Lal in this 8th chapter. It is not that Bhagavan Krishna did not know anything else except, running with the gopis. You try to run. The one who can run with the gopis alone is the right yogi, Yogeshwara Krishna. We, with one wife, instead of running after her, she makes her run here and there. So, Bhruvor Madhye Pranamavesha Samyak. Then what happens? Satam Paramam Purusham Upayati Divyam. So, unless we have dissolved the individuality, there is no possibility of getting a visa for merging in the Absolute. See? And that individuality is dissolved in this Agya Chakra. It is not just like that. And these are step by step. And this all fits according to the Vedanta Shastra. In the Ashtanga Yoga, in Bhakti Shastra, everywhere the same thing. Words used are different. But the control of matter and recognition of consciousness, these are the two things in all the spiritual practice. Matter has to be controlled and conquered, and consciousness has to be recognized and get established into. So, Bhruvor Madhye Pranamavesha Samyak, such a person, Tam Param Purusham Upayati Divyam. The Divya Purush, what is the Divya Purush? Divya, this particular dhatu, the root, has got 14 meanings, not one. One of the meaning is, Divya means resplendent. He who doesn't depend on any external source of light, therefore self-established. Other meaning is Kridayam, to play. For such a master, this whole life is a play of consciousness. Technical term, Chidvilas. One and the same, there is no difference. And such a Jivan Mukta Purush, he is living through the body and not as the body. And the one who is Jivan dead, they are living as the body and suffering all the modifications of the body as their body, as their modifications. So, Satam Param Purusham Upayati Divyam. Now, that particular reality, The teacher continues further, explaining, Yadaksharam Vedavido Vadanti Vishanti Yadyatayo Vitaragaham Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Pravakshe. Four things the teacher says. It is the same reality, Aksharam, Vedavidaha Vadanti. So you must have seen, particularly in South India we see this thing, and also in the North India. In the Middle India there is only stomach problem. See, if you go to some part of Maharashtra and southwards, there the Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda, Rigveda, all the four Vedas, different shakhas, nicely going on. Or you go in the north, in between there is nothing. So, there they chant Vedas. Om Sahasra Shah Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad. So, Veda Vidaha Vadanti. About what they are chanting? It is not a music. They are all talking, thinking about only that reality. So, whether it is a gross, mere chanting of the scriptures, Yat Aksharam Veda Vidaha Vadanti, Vishanti Yat Yatayaha Vitaragaha. So first is only at a gross expression of the spiritual path. And initial stages, that is very, very essential. If your mind is sometimes disturbed, Swamiji, you are being modest. When our mind is disturbed, try this. If you are not able to chant the Vedic mantras correctly, never mind. Take Bhagavad Gita and read loudly without a mic. Listen to yourself. Slowly, slowly, all your agitations of the mind will quieten down. See, one thing I'll tell you. You all have heard the name of our Shirdi Sai Baba. Just now I have come from there about a week before. So many things I have learned. One of the things is this. He told one of his devotees that you start chanting this Vishnu Sahasranam Pothi. It has helped me a lot when I was a child. You try, it will help you. Now that old man to whom it was said, who is a disciple, who disagrees with the teacher is a disciple. No, I cannot do that. I am every day experiencing this thing. Suppose you say, please sit up there. No, I want to sit down. There is no meaning in telling or talking. When you have taken a vow, whatever the teacher says, will disagree. Then the teacher says, you are Brahman. No. Continue. So, then he told his disciple, devotee, that you chant this Pothi. And he gave the Vishnu Sahasranam. If we have the knowledge about how to decipher all the codes of Vishnu Sahasranam, Lalita Sahasranam, Shiva Sahasranam, Purusha Sukta, tremendous knowledge is revealed through study, or even if you don't understand, impact is experienced in your heart. We don't have to know the pharmacology of a medicine. If you know, well and good. But if you do not know, doesn't matter. The medicine has its own quality and it will have the impact. In the same manner, all these divine mantras, they have their own potential hidden in every syllable that is chanted. That is why it is necessary that even if you are not able to do it till date, never mind, start somewhere or the other. And then see, your loneliness will disappear. Your off mood will become on mood. He will not become all the time. I don't know what happened. मजा ही नहीं आता. पर हमको तो मजा आ रहा. मजा. It's only because we have not provided ourselves with the proper kind of inner environment. So, yadaksharam veda vido vadanti vishanti yat yatayaha vitaragaha. The second stage. Vitaragaha. Those who are no more now attracted by any of the worldly temptations. No more interested. No more attracted. No more repelled. Both the things. Raga dvesha rahita. Vitaragaha. What happens to them? Yatayaha vishanti. As if they enter or as if they merge. Like the river Ganges merges in the ocean. And if you have seen any river mixing with the ocean, there is never a sound. There is never a fight between the two kinds of waters. In the same manner, when we are totally freed from the relativity and therefore the impact of desires, then we merge in that absolute reality. That is what Akshara is the goal of our life. And third, Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti, the third stage. It is not necessary that you have to be born and then become a brahmachari, then grahastha, then a vanaprastha, sannyasi. No need. If you want to bypass the whole thing, you are allowed. So yadichantaha, desiring him or desiring that, brahmacharyam charanti. They dedicate their total life only in seeking the Brahman, the reality. Nothing else. Brahmacharyam charanti, tatte padam, that reality, that abode, sangrahena pravakte. Sangrahena pravini comes in Kathoparishad. This mantra is from Kathoparishad. Bhagavan Krishna has been expert in taking the things right from childhood. And therefore he also took this and then realized maybe somebody will point out. So last verb he has changed. Instead of Pravivi, he said Pravakshe and said this is my original. No? Like the modern PhD thesis. You go to BHU or Varanasi. There you get PhD. What subject? Nyaya Shastra. How many pages this is? Maybe about 250, 300. Okay. How many days? 6 months. Okay. And we quote 40,000. This is too much. Mahatmaji, actually, these days it's very difficult. We have to give to the registrar, we have to give to the professor, we have to give to the typist and all that, And not only that, we have to give to the examiner. Because why this happens? Because all are the devotees of Bhagavan Krishna. Narayana. Tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe. Sangrahena means absolutely clear. Nothing will be left unsaid. Now, what is that? Now the teacher says, you have now arrived on the platform of death. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Don't say all that. Today is Dwadashi. There cannot be a better day to die than today. That's why an Australian said to die. First time when I heard that pronunciation, I was so amused. That one Australian came. I said, hey, when did you come to die? I said, I am not asking the purpose. So when you came? So, Sarvadvarani Sayyamya Mano Rudi Niruddhyacha. Mudnyadhayatmana pranam athito yoga dharanam. The first step. Sarva dvarani sayyamya. When death approaches for a bhogi, different process begins. When the death approaches for a rogi, the different process begins. When the death approaches for a yogi, the process is different. And death does not approach to the devotee of the Lord. These are the four options. Here we'll see, Bhagavad will tell, the man of wisdom and the devotee, these are synonymous. They are not different. So, depending upon in what category we belong, suppose we are a rogi, so what will happen? People will be very happy. Bhagwan ne acha kiya. We could not see his miseries. We are praying every day to the God, relieve us. And God has never heard my prayer, but this prayer, He immediately listened, and everything was rogi. Then a bhogi. When a bhogi leaves the body, he is like, yam yam bhavam smaram tejatyante kalevaram. I wish, now last thing in my life, I had never eaten that chicken pulao, Vaishnav, but I feel I should at least taken once that chicken. Next life. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tejatyante kalevaram tam tameveti konteya tat bhavam bhavitaha. Therefore, a bhogi cannot be freed from the desires, one or the other. And according to that, the next life is taken. So the rogi goes in the lower wombs, the bhogi goes into according to the desire that he had. Don't imagine this way, that if I had desire of eating chicken pulao before dying, next year I will be born in a tandoori. No. You will not be born as the eater of the chicken, but you will be born as a chicken. Last thought was chicken, not the eater of the chicken. Narayan. Now, the third one. When we have complete control over ourselves, and such Mahatmas, they take Sanjeevani Samadhi. See? Sanjeevani Samadhi is possible only for those Sarvadvarani Sayyamya. We sit for meditation, close all the doors, Sarvadvarani Sayyamya, and then sit for meditation. Kiska phone hai? Which doors are closed? Not a single door is closed. Because Mani Ram is running here and there. Something or the other is constantly attracting the mind. So, Sarvadvarani Sayyamya, when our Santa Gyaneshwar Maharaj took Samadhi, I was not there that day. What we read is, he has taken permission and sanction from his Guru, and then a vault was prepared, and his Guru has gone inside. Nivrutinath Maharaj prepared a Kushasana properly, and lamps were kept, and there he went and sat, and then his Guru Maharaj Nivrutinath came, closed that for good, and there, hey, kholo, garmi ho rahi hai. Like one boy wanted to commit suicide. And he closed the door, everything. And 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, not opening the door. Everybody will, what happened, what happened? He failed. Probably, has he done something? These days people are expert. Okay, let us go and see. And with a great bang, the door was opened and he was hanging from the waist. Like a taraju. Hey, what are you doing? I wanted to commit suicide. Then you should put it around your neck. The noose should be around the neck. No, I got sardi. Look here, tragedy. So, sarvadvarani sayyamya. The senses are withdrawn. Now, this is the laya prakriya according to Kadhopanishan. Yachedvang manasi pradnyaha tad yached jnana atmani mahati niyached tad yached shanti atmani. Withdraws totally, slowly. Leave the objects. How do we leave the objects? We close the senses. And when we have closed the senses, objects are left. And when there is nothing for the senses to feed upon, the senses die. When the senses die, where do they go? They go back to their womb called as the mind. Sarvatvarani sayyamya. Now we have come to the mind. Then manaha hrudi niruddhyacha. In deep sleep, not deep sleep, in dream. We have already withdrawn from the whole world. Senses are no more functioning in the outer world. Many times we have taken little more food and thereafter we go to sleep and then we dream, dying of hunger. See? So, senses are no more in touch with the world, but the senses are still vibrant and alive at the level of the mind. And therefore, the second step is manaha hrudi niruddhyacha. Now absorb the mind in the anahata chakra. According to yoga abhyas. According to Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, hrudi, he defines hrudaya in a most beautiful manner. Harati ayam hrudayam. The one who loots away all the experiences is that conscious reality. So, manaha, the mind is now absorbed in the consciousness. Be very, very careful. Absorbing the consciousness is, Kavara, Dichamataro, Jarayanda. It is not. And because of this, many people get headaches. Those who get headache because of meditation, they are not doing meditation. Meditation does not give headache to you. To others, yes. I don't know why they get up in the morning and do meditation. Don't allow us to sleep. I think I am going to bang that Swami. Why did you tell Dadaji do meditation in the morning? So, when you take an example, this example I had given you earlier. Suppose this is the thread and this thread is not cut from this end. And I start pulling. What will happen? There will be more concentration of the flowers like this. In the same manner, when the mind is not withdrawn from the body identification fully, and you go on pulling, that pull of energy and concentration creates abnormality, and then you get headache to prove that we have a head. Think. That is why first step is Indriyani Sayyamya. Sarvadvarani Sayyamya. Second, Manaha Hrudi Niruddhyacha. Then third, Murdhya dhyayatmanaha pranam. Then the prana is brought slowly to the murdha. So the mind is now totally withdrawn from the body identification. Now the prana shakti is brought to the murdha and astitaha yoga dharanam. Now who can do this? He who is astitaha yoga dharanam. He who has practiced this yoga abhyas for a long period of time. How long? Another problem. How long? Mind wants time frame results. Spirituality does not give you time frame results because spirituality takes you beyond time. How important it is. The moment this question comes in our mind, how long I have to do? Be careful, the mind is catching you. Why worry? Never there is a time that we are not the reality. Then what we are doing? Time pass. Don't be too much anxious even about realization. Let go. Let the truth reveal itself. When the truth reveals, the one to whom the truth is revealed disappears. So, murdhyadhyayatmanaha pranam astitaha yoga dharanam. Such a seeker has this step. Then after that, now his prana has come to the murdha. Mind is totally withdrawn. Then, Om Ityekaksharam Brahma Vyaharan Mamanusmaran Yap Prayati Tejandeham Sayati Paramangatim. Now this yogi, by the yoga abhyas, he attains the Paramangatim. Now that time, what he does or what he is supposed to do is the next topic, which will be taken from this 13th verse onward. And then from this, there is one still limitation in this. What is that limitation and how to cross that limitation is the next topic, which we will take tomorrow. We stop here. Enough for the day. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.